If you build it, you will win.
On our perpetual quest for speed, we often push ourselves and our machines to the max, hunting for that checkered flag. So it's only a natural progression that we move to bigger and faster boats to keep pushing the limits. On the other side of this cornfield is a family who both understands speed and, more importantly, how to get there. Of course, you can't just wake up one day and decide you're going to be a boat builder. There's a lot to comprehend, like hull design, power-to-weight ratio, max horsepower, props, color, how many cup holders is too many, you know, the important stuff. For Mark Weigel and his family, boat racing is truly in their blood. In the late 80s and early 90s, together with his then-girlfriend Dana, they won several divisional and national championships together, with her at the wheel and Mark on the throttle. At the peak of his career, he was considered one of the best throttle men around the globe. Fast forward a few years and you arrive at Tuff Marine, a brand synonymous with speed, born of racing pedigree and hunting for a world record. In 2018, Mark won the Ozarks Shootout as the fastest Vee-Bottom single-engine boat with a top speed of 125 miles per hour.
Speed 125.
In 2019, that title was taken away by just 3 miles per hour from a boat that had more than triple the horsepower. Mark and his team are busy building an all-new boat ready to take that record back, and we just had to be part of the adventure.
Back in the 80s, there was a real fury in technology and advancements in high performance, lots of activity going on. I was just the snot-nosed kid and had no money, so I wanted to play with the big boys, so you had to figure out ways to do it on your own and make old stuff work. Back in the day, the best you could do was a 24 skater. So I searched the US back without internet and anything those days, and I found a used skater in Boston and brought that home. And then as you run the guys around, now you've got such a serious fast boat that they wouldn't play anymore. You've got a skater. So then we had to join the race circuit, and there was none in Canada, so you had to go to the States, and then that started the offshore racing.
In offshore racing, the ideal setup is one team member on the wheel and another on the throttle. Lucky for him, he didn't have to look too far to find the perfect driver.
So I got my girlfriend to drive the boat. As it happens, some inner talent came out, and she drove that boat to the point where, imagine, without verbal communication, I am driving the boat without touching the wheel. So that symmetry probably was a big component of our success. That was my girlfriend, who then, of course, became my wife, contributing time and efforts to the early racing.
To keep up with the wealthier teams on the circuits, Mark learned to do all his own maintenance and soon turned to modifying older boats to race them. After the Skater came a Scorpion and a classic American Challenger. But quickly, his extensive racing knowledge led him to design his own hulls, and the Tough Enough race team morphed into Tuff Marine.
So the very first Tuff boat absolutely has its roots in the Challenger 21. Since that boat, every boat was my original design.
And all those years on the throttle turned Mark into somewhat of a boat whisperer.
I think our claim to fame would be setup. To run the boat and by the seat of your pants, feel the boat and know that the boat is asking for this change, and then make the change to see if you were right. 20 miles an hour faster just in setup, the same equipment, but just position it different, move it around.
Fast forward almost 2 decades and Tuff manufactures a whole range of hot rod boats, from the kid-friendly Tuff 16 right up to the blistering fast Tuff 28, which set that record at Lake of the Ozarks in 2018. But when that record fell the following year, Mark and his son Thomas began looking for more speed, and the Tuff 34 was born.
I remember my dad and I talking about it at length. What would it take to put more horsepower in a bigger boat? At the time, we had a 28-foot with 860 horsepower, and we were joking, oh, people say, oh, put a 1350 in it, and we knew that the motor was too heavy and it just wouldn't be right. So we said, why don't we build a bigger boat? So we'd get out the napkin and you draw the line, and then you kind of look at it and, oh, that's kind of cool.
What the Weigels are after is a type of speed that nobody's ever done in a single-engine Vee-Bottom boat. And to push them there, they've turned to Mercury's massive 552 cubic inch 1350 racing engine, hence the need for a bigger boat.
This is Mercury Racing's 1350, big twin turbo. You can see the two right here. In this game that we're playing, the world's fastest single-engine Vee-Bottom, we've always been players with significantly less horsepower than what the other players have been doing. So this motor now puts us right in that full horsepower range the other guys are.
What's also cool is a dual calibration system that allows the motor to switch between the kick-you-in-the-pants torque of 1,350 ponies and a paltry 1,100 horsepower, which makes it a little more manageable for the average driver and will come in nice and handy while testing the new setup.
We should be in the water relatively soon, within a few days. I'm hoping that it pulls a pretty decent number and that the balance and everything is sort of what I was expecting. There's a bunch of new ideas in this boat, and I don't know if I'm right. Assuming all that stuff works, the props that I have should get me some decent results. They're not even rated for the horsepower that this can do. But it's only after running those props that the boat will talk to you and say, no, here's what I want. Where do you go from here? That won't happen this year, so you'll order the prop over the winter. Someone will prep it with the shape and the flavor that you want, and then we'll come back at it next year and then really go.
I think it's going to be obnoxiously fast. We're used to fast things. I think that it's going to exceed our expectations by a ton. That much power and then that light of a boat, and then especially with our new designs on, I think it's going to be just a hit out of the park.
While it's true it has not run, today it has not run, but this will be the world's fastest single-engine Vee-Bottom.
Stick around as we water test this new boat later in the show.
When we last saw this boat, it looked a little bit different. No steering wheel, no propeller, no seats, no engine hatch. Basically just that beefy Mercury Racing 1350 in an empty shell. But the Waggles have sky-high expectations, and we're here today to see if we can figure out once and for all whether this Tuff 34 is the world's fastest single-engine Vee-Bottom boat. All right, Mark, it's game day.
It's a brand new project, new design. We haven't experienced a QC4 motor before, so everything is new. We needed the consistent water conditions, so we're gonna suck up the cold. It's just about 0 degrees. Yeah. The fall conditions, like the spring conditions, low humidity, more lift, atmospheric pressure high, so the engine makes horsepower, the boat makes natural lift. All these things are the best. I really just need to go shake the boat out, push it a little, see what it says.
We've got the lake to ourselves today.
Yeah, let's back it in and get the startup part going.
Let's do it.
Feeling cautiously optimistic, Mark had to borrow a propeller for the day because for a boat like this, you can't just take one off the shelf. To break in the dual calibration engine, Mark's only running at 1,100 of its available 1,350 horsepower. The goal today isn't necessarily to hit a world record, but for Mark to get a sense of what this Tuff 34 is capable of.
What'd you think about this latest test run here?
The test was good. It told me a lot of the things I needed to know. So you're always asking the boat what it wants.
Yeah.
And so it provided me a lot of information. Now we have to go back, make those adjustments, go again.
So the top speed today?
112.
112.
Miles an hour.
While Mark didn't break the world record today, the boat told him everything he needed to know so he can go back to the shop and make those changes over the winter so he can chase that number down in the spring. With the right propeller and balance and the engine cranked up to its full potential, this Tuff 34 is going to smash the world record as the fastest single-engine Vee-Bottom boat. But the best part about today, I got to ride shotgun for one of Mark's pulls, the fastest I've ever gone on the water. And I think I handled it pretty well.
That was insane.
Needs a little adjusting, a We're going to shift balance primarily. To have you in the boat for that section was a bonus for us because I felt some off balance side to side. So when you provided the cancellation of that and the boat cleaned up, that told me more information that I need to know.
Well, I'm happy to help out. If there's anything I can do to help, just let me know.
And there is one thing you can do.
Hey, you guys are coming back, right? Come on, this is a big boat.